Hey, Big V here, Verl Workman. We're talking teams, and today I'm excited to talk about who gets to determine the value of the service we provide. I want you to think about that for a second. Who determines the value of the service you provide? Oftentimes we think as real estate agents that we get to determine and dictate whatever price we want. But when we choose a price and we can't back it up with the value and the services we provide, then price quickly becomes the objection. With these class action lawsuits and things that are happening in the marketplace today, the absence of value is becoming more and more apparent in many of the real estate transactions that have taken place. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about how do we improve and how do we increase the value and the services we provide to both buyers and sellers. If you'll stay to the very end of this video, I'm going to give you a download of a very special resource we use specifically in coaching. It's called Emotional Transformation, and it teaches you how to use emotional intelligence to change the way you deliver so that you appeal to the positive emotions of the people you serve. It's part of our serve regardless of opportunity mentality. I'm going to give it to you. It's the only video I'm going to give you all of this resource in, and so make sure you stay tuned to the very end. So what does it mean to serve regardless of opportunity? How many of you remember back in 2020 when the country and the world got hit with this unbelievable pandemic? The coronavirus, COVID struck, and all this uncertainty happened everywhere. Now, I'll tell you, I don't know about being a real estate agent. Let me tell you who you don't want to be in the middle of a pandemic. A motivational speaker or any of the ancillary services that support events, because we watched millions of dollars of events evaporate from our calendars. And it didn't just affect us as speakers, it affected hotels, ballrooms, video people, the people that put on the events, catering. The lives of the people that were impacted as a result of the COVID were just massive. And for the first time in my career, I remember sitting down with the president of my company, my daughter, Brianne, and saying, Brianne, how are we going to address a year of no events? Because in our business, events drive revenue. When we have the opportunity to speak, it creates leads and people raise their hand and say, how do I get help? Specifically, how do I get one of your coaches to help me build my team? Well, when you're not doing events and no leads come in and all your revenue comes from events, how are you going to deal with it? And we looked at where our business was. We looked at all of the things that were going well, and we had built a business that was based on the value of the services we provide. We had built a coaching company that was providing ongoing services to our coaches and our coaching clients that would protect them during this process. So we decided that we would change our motto from serve before opportunity to serve regardless of opportunity. That little shift in the way we message to the consumer meant that in the real estate business, we wanted to give value regardless of whether or not we generated a lead or anybody signed up for coaching. So we developed the Master of Virtual Real Estate, and we taught people how to be masters of selling houses virtually. We taught virtual open houses on steroids and how to grit to get more people that keep your open houses online 24/7 and leads coming in constantly. We taught people how to make people feel safe when they were doing multiple showings on properties. We knew that there was going to be a pent-up demand of buyers that were going to come into the marketplace, and so we taught our agents not to pull back and pause, but rather to keep bouncing and to keep communicating and doing the things that kept them at the front of the mind of the consumer, because the bounce was going to be terrific. The result of that was not only did our business grow, but the business of our agents, the ones that we coach, had massive success. When everybody else was starting to get back into real estate, our agents were already doing it. We had some that never stopped doing real estate, that continued to build the bounce, that kept the ball moving and didn't stop and pause. And so in the absence of value, price is the objection. How do we serve regardless of opportunity, and who determines the value? You see, when your value proposition is stopping by with a jar of jam, you're a nice person with good jam. When your value proposition is stopping by with something that really helps that family, with something valuable, whether it's to save money on their taxes or things they could do to improve the value of their home, or how to make their assumable mortgage attractive to a potential buyer in selling their home. When you give real information and you serve them regardless of whether or not they use you, what happens is it not only cements the relationship, but it also puts you into a position as a true expert in the thing that you want to be known for. So let me give you what I like to call are my 8 ways to create value as a real estate agent or broker. First of all, saying you have the value and demonstrating you have the value is very different. One is marketing, the other is action. I don't want you to talk about what you do well, I want you to do it well. Does that make sense? So it starts with expertise. You have to develop this deep understanding of the market. So what are you doing to make sure that your clients are the best informed in a transaction? Do you really know what's on the market? Do you know what's being sold? Do you know the price per square foot? Do you know how to determine the value of the upstairs versus the downstairs if you have basements? Do you know how to determine whether or not a septic system is in need of repair? Do you have good inspectors that go in and really inspect properties? And do you listen to what they say? When our pillar to post inspectors go into a home and they inspect a property prior to us making an offer, we make offers that are much stronger because we give more value during the process to our clients. The next is, so the first is expertise. The second is communication. Is it possible you're over communicating with your clients? I didn't think so. There's no such thing as over communication. So always keep your clients informed of what's happening in the transaction. We have tools and resources now that do it automated, but we also have check-ins where we're calling and talking to our clients, letting them know what's going on with the transaction. I love to ask the client, what's your preferred method of communication? How often would you like me to communicate? And then just do a little bit more than that. Give them more value than what they expect. I would say that results are one of the most important ways that you can give value to your client. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. If you price a property at the high end of the marketplace, tell them it's going to take longer to sell it and then sell it in that time frame. But don't tell them you can do it in 90 days when you know it's not going to sell in 90 days because you're at the high end of the market. We use clock-based pricing, so results. The other thing is use the results that you get from others to tell stories. Stories sell. And so get 5-star reviews, get testimonials of your clients, get them on video, and make sure you highlight those results on your website and your communications. The next one, when we're really trying to show value to our clients, is availability. A lot of people say that when you get me, I'm available 24/7. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm the team guy, and I teach you how to have balance in your life and in your family. What I mean by availability is be available when you say you're going to be available, and always respond. And it's okay to tell your clients that I'm going to respond between 9 and 6, or I'm going to respond if you call me after 6, if it's an important emergency, leave a message, I'll call you back. Or if it's not an emergency, I'll call you back the next morning. Set communication standards of how you're going to communicate, and then just do a little bit better. Accountability is one of my favorite ways of showing value. Accountability means that not only do you hold your team accountable to a higher standard, but you hold yourself to a higher standard. You set the example of the standard of which you want to work. That includes everything from dressing for success to how we approach a client, how we greet them, the way that we give them communication, the way that we give them a presentation, how we put their property in the best light, both online and offline, so that more buyers are attracted to it. You see, accountability is the way that we conduct ourselves at the highest level, with integrity being at the center. The next is problem solving. I like to say that we don't have people problems, we have process problems. And so when there's a problem, we address it. We address it quickly and we address it head on. The bigger the problem, the faster it is you address it. If you wait, then the consumer starts to believe that there's no value in the money they're paying you because you're not addressing their issues or problems. So address the problems, and the bigger the problem, the faster you address it. And address it head on. Look, if it's a big problem, you got to deal with it. I recently had a client who found out that when they built their home, they didn't put in proper ductwork in the basement. And so now it's all corroded. When the furnace or the air conditioner turns on, it blows dirt up from the basement throughout all the vents. There is no physical way to be able to fix that without tearing up the foundation, the very concrete of the floor, and putting in new ductwork. That's a problem, but we have to address it head on and with energy, enthusiasm, and clarity on how to solve that problem. Everybody has problems. It's not whether or not you're going to have problems, but how are you as a leader going to address them to give more value to your client? Our value comes when problems are solved, not when they're presented. And the last one is to make sure that you're constantly doing the things to set yourself up for expertise, meaning put yourself on auto hot sheets. Make sure you're getting property information coming in on the different types of neighborhoods and the different price points and the different ranges. What are houses selling for? What are they being listed for? Who's selling houses in a certain area? Is there a geographic area that people are moving out of a lot? What is your knowledge? When someone says, how's it going in real estate? Are you able to answer with a high quality answer on what's really going on? Or do you just say something like this? Oh, things are tough. It's a little different with rates being higher. Come on, nobody wants to hear you whining about interest rates. People don't move because of interest rates. When something's going on in the marketplace, say, hey, there's a lot of people that are moving right now that are taking advantage of the opportunities that exist because the interest rates have outpriced them and they can't stay in their homes. There's a lot of people right now that are looking to rent. There's new opportunities for investors because current investors aren't getting the same ROI they were getting on properties that they had fully leveraged. So new investors are coming in and taking them out of those properties. There is tremendous opportunity in every market. And the way we show value is just by being great. Who are the builders in your marketplace? Here's just a couple of other ways of learning it to give more value. Who are the builders in your marketplace and what are the concessions they're offering? It's happening all over the country right now. What are the different mortgage programs that are available? Are there 2-1 buy downs? Are there interest rate incentives? Are there closing cost incentives that are out there? What are the government incentives for first-time home buyers, for retiring home buyers, or for people that are in different phases of their lives? What are the emotional intelligence and artificial intelligence tools that you can use to create better messaging and better marketing of your properties? There are so many things. The concept behind this is be great at what we do, and that's how we establish value. And then provide service without the expectation of getting paid. Serve regardless of opportunity. And then as a leader, do the same thing for your team. Serve your team, help develop them, help them be great at the business, and teach them how to give that to their clients. When it comes to serve regardless of opportunity and establishing value, it's up to you to set the standard. What is the standard you want to provide for your client? And it all starts with providing it for your team. Here's what I'd like you to download. Download the Emotional Transformation and Communication. It's a shift module created by the great Cleve Gaddis, master coach with Workman Success Systems and the Workman Success team. As you understand and learn how to communicate your value with emotional intelligence, your consumer and your client will understand the value you provide and be willing to pay the price you expect. Use emotional intelligence, serve regardless of opportunity, and increase your value instead of decreasing your price.